School class of 1969 50-year reunion. Wow. As I look around the room, I can see that the years have not been so good to many of you. Some of you look like you've been rode hard and put away wet. While others are a testament to plastic surgery. It is so good to see y'all. When I arrived at our great institution as a fresh-faced freshman, eager to absorb all that our teachers could pour into me, I was considered by some to be a bit of a teacher's pet, given the way all the teachers were so excited to have me grace their classes with my presence. I could have easily been valedictorian, but I chose not to make my classmates feel so bad. So my goal was to be in the top 90%. And I'm proud to say I achieved that goal. I was also the young man all the girls wanted to be with.
Oh, yeah.
It was embarrassing the lengths the girls would go to achieve status of Vern's girlfriend. Of course, with that came the problem of the guys hating me. After a time, several of the guys realized that if they hung out with me, they had a chance to pick up some of my rejects. And the motto became, "Be like Vern." I know some of you girls in attendance today still cling to the hope of landing the prize. But I must tell you that I am happily married with 3 daughters and 4 grandkids. So I guess there's a chance. I also excelled at all sports. As the captain of the football, basketball, and baseball teams, I chose to exhibit leadership and sportsmanship by taking a position at the end of the bench and guard my teammates from aggressive cheerleaders and mascots from our opponents. I was also on the wrestling team, and the coach told me he had never seen a more talented 98-pound specimen. A little known fact is that I was invited to participate in the 1968 Olympic Games in Mexico City, but my mom wouldn't let me go. Besides, I didn't know Spanish at the time. I did take Russian as a freshman, but the teacher was a spy, so I had to take him out. I also took German, and since high school, I have become fluent in 7 languages.
Yeah.
But enough about me.
Thank goodness. We're done.
Is Jim LaBelle here?
Vern Hunt.
I see Jim LaBelle, our class president.
Yay!
We called him Jim Smiles LaBelle. Few people know that I was the puppet master of Jim's term in office. Smiles, I had such high hopes for him. I was grooming him for the Oval Office. I told him to grow his hair long, get a couple of make love not war tattoos, and start smoking pot with us in shop class. I even organized a kickoff event with a few of my musician friends in Woodstock. But alas, Jim folded under the pressure and never got hired in local politics. We did have a great time at Woodstock, though. That is where I got my first tattoo. It's on my left cheek, and it is a picture of a VW van with the caption, "If the van is rocking, then don't come knocking." I have a couple of other tattoos. When I was in a biker gang, I got one, but the guy couldn't spell. And it says, "Hell's Angles." Another poorly done one from when I was a Navy SEAL. It says, "SEAL Team Sax." I guess I just don't have good luck with tattoos. I see my friend Fast Eddie Hammerslag is here. Eddie was in my wedding, and I didn't hear from him for 50 years. Great friend, huh? Do you remember when Eddie and Gary Hughes were Zion's answers to the Smothers Brothers? While they were playing in coffee houses, I formed a very successful group with our own Dr. Dennis McCrary. We played many venues, including the Elgin Mental Hospital. That reminds me, Dennis, I never got my cut from that gig. And I'm sure it was more than gas money for that Pinto you were driving. With interest, I figured you owe me a Pinto of my own. At that time, we also came out with our first album titled, I Want to Hold Your Fingernail. Big seller. The first copy is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and my mom still has the other copy. I see that Rick, the milkman Bjork, is here. Rick's claim to fame is that in gym class, when we were playing basketball, he landed on my foot and spun around and hit me in the mouth. Messed up my ankle, bruised my tailbone in the fall, and chipped my front tooth. Rick, you still owe me $27.50 for the tooth. I see that Rick, the plumber Ketz, is here. Rick was one of my best friends growing up. I will never forget Rick doing an assignment in English class. The thesis was trying to prove that teachers are human, and he couldn't do it. So his conclusion was that they are not human. Rick also had one of the sweetest rides in high school, a 1965 Chevelle SS 396. Well, one day Rick locked his keys in the car, so he took the dipstick out of the engine, broke it off so he could open the door. The big problem was that he could no longer check the oil. And you guessed it, the engine blew up. Rick went on to be a missionary to Africa. I also see that Dennis the Hawk Cagle is here. Dennis is known for creating a new dance craze called the Hawk. Ask him to show it to you. Dennis is also a very successful entrepreneur, so make sure you put your drinks on his tab at the bar. Did you hear about the grasshopper that walked into a bar and the bartender says, "Hey, we have a drink named after you." And the grasshopper says, "Who would name a drink Steve?" I see Danny, you're out of here, Miles is here. Danny still holds the school record for getting kicked out of classes. How many was it, Danny?
Just one, biology.
There is Chuck C.J. Johnson. Chuck was the first guy I saw jump so high that he could put both elbows in a basketball ring. He became a much better player when I told him to put the basketball, not his elbows, through it. Chuck is now a world famous baker. His donuts are the best. In closing, I want to acknowledge our classmates who are no longer with us. Too many of us have passed away, but I have a feeling they are having their own ZBTH Class of 69 reunion in heaven right now. It's going to be interesting to see how many of y'all make it to the 70th reunion. Well, have fun, and remember, sometimes it's better to ask forgiveness than permission. Blessings on you and yours, and remember that God loves you and has a plan for your life.
Thank you, sir.